homeless guy was trying to put a spell on me, but I think he was just waving.
The following film is intended for mature audiences and contains adult content, graphic language, graphic violence, nudity, and strong sexual content. Viewer discretion is advised. We'll leave it up to you, but you gotta know about this stuff before getting into this whole thing, you know? I mean, straight up, one guy gets his face bitten off by a raccoon, and we show it. Oh man, do we show it.
Three, 2, 1, recording.
Hey y'all, he's cool.
And he's Kegs. Hey Kegs, who do we got on tonight?
Tonight we have a true OG, and I know I say this a lot, but I mean it. I mean, this guy has been around, he has crunched numbers and done studies. There was something else biblical I wanted to say there, but we're going to go ahead and skip over that. Tonight we got Nitro. Nitro, how are you doing tonight, brother?
Yes, a very good morning, Breeze, and good morning, Kegs, and good morning, everybody. Yes, I'm very well. Monday morning in Australia, and yes, I'm sitting in my office talking to you guys.
On the other side of the world, holy shit, we really are global. That's weird.
Yes. And it's good to be global because then you meet a lot of people, Breeze.
Well, I tell you what, just so people meet you, who are you inside of the Sky Warriors video game? It's a mobile thing, and yeah, tell us a little bit about yourself inside the game.
Yeah, sure, my call sign within the game is Nitro, which a lot of people know me around. I'm number 11 in the global rankings, and I play for War Brothers. I'm a commander with War Brothers, and I do marking with La. I work on the mark missions.
That's wonderful. Well, dude, so I know you and Kegs know each other, right? So, I don't know you as well. So, let's do this. Inside the game, you fly for War Brothers. Can you talk a little bit about War Brothers and I guess who they are, maybe?
Sure, yeah, give yourself a little shout out, Nitro.
All right, I'll tell you a little bit about my journey, and then that will conclude War Brothers as well.
Excellent.
So I started this game somewhere April last year, and the first squadron I joined was SF1. John was the commander. I was there for a week or so, and then they collaborated with an Indian team called India Fearless, where they sent some mercs there for a war. And RDX is the guy who I went with, and I started playing 1 or 2 games with them, and then I was about to return back to SF1. And John, for some reason, lost it, or the squad was gone, and I went back to RDX to that. The squad was fallen. Do you have a space for me? And that's how I started staying there, and then they added me to the servers, and then my journey with India Fearless started, and I was there for about 9 months. And I used to come online a lot on the English chat, where I used to log and talk to people, and I will share a code and fly. And there I met Odin from Australia. He was in Australian squad before, and then he was 1. But Odin and me became friends. We used to share code every evening. We used to fly. With Odin, I met T. Smithy, I met Junior, and then just playing around them, I think. So I started to merc for them. So Oz team was the first team I used to merc and just go out of my own squad because I didn't know much about the game. And the boys, the team I was on, never used to merc. They would just do normal wars, and then they won't play the normal days. They don't play. So I used to go with Odin or go to Oz, and Odin used to come to Indian team, and then we used to just merc with each other. And then I started working for 1. I met Ghost, I met DD, Rhino, Slide, awesome people. I think, Kegs, you were in 1 as well, right?
I'm actually back there currently. Yes.
Yeah. So that's how my murking all started, and then I came in touch with I think so Saja World Class. Then they took me to a bigger war. I think so. I participated in a IA versus Bro War where I met Marrow, Crash, Brad, Steelheart, Zeed, and yet from there on, I just started to love my merc missions. I will do merc missions, and then I will come back to my own squad and just fly there. And I stayed in my original team for about 8 or 9 months, and then me, Bond, game name is Bond. We decided to move and start another team because we just wanted to make something and play and just enjoy the game more. And then we were looking for a squad, and kind of we got in touch with EB. EB was at that time, I think so. There was a bug issue, and he was stuck in WB1 and he couldn't get off, and he had a squad available, WB2, which was a platinum squad, and it was a perfect thing for me and Bond because we had about 8 or 10 boys that were with us, and that's how we started War Brothers 2. And ever since that, just day on day, we started to meet people, hire people, and we started to grow that. During my merc missions with one, I met Code Manova, Poker. Them being my best buddies ever since, man. There is not a single day where I don't talk to Poker, I don't talk to Nova, or we don't fly together. We merc together, we go into wars together, and then we share a lot of commonalities and discussions over the Discord. And yes, we all helped WB grow. And then we went from top 10 or top 100. Then we did, all right, let's go top 50. Then we said, all right, let's go to top 10. And yet now we have 3 diamond squads, 2 platinums, and 1 resting squad. So that's where War Brothers is. So a big shout out to all my boys there.
Jesus Christ. Well, yeah.
The code man, I would love to have him on. Code is cool as shit. I love Code.
You need Nova, Poker, a combination of both, and then I get along with them. Oh, it's amazing. Nova is amazing. Poker is amazing. Now I guess we are getting dope into that arena as well. That 3 or 4 of us are just online and just having a gig about the game every day. Yeah, amazing.
Well, man,
I used to fly with Code a lot, and that guy.
Yeah.
I mean, I had a high tier T6 SU-30, and he had just gotten his griping, and I guess the story he told me was he spent a little coin on it to get it leveled up pretty quick. And I'm like, oh, that's all right, because I was before they nerfed the T6s, and I'm like, I should be able to hold with this guy, no problem. I couldn't fly with, he just made me look like a goddamn amateur. It was it was embarrassing.
He's quick, man. He's quick. See, I remember Poker, and that is going back to December and Jan when I didn't knew 80% of the game. So I only knew was World Class, I knew was Code, Poker, and then Aaron, and then started to talk during my merc missions with Saja from KSA. He was bro back then. And every day just flying, and I just used to see how these guys pull off those numbers. Like I remember Poker doing 500, Nova doing 300-400 every now and then, and I'm like, how you guys are doing? Back in the days for me, doing 100K was like, because I was not exposed to bigger wars. I was thinking doing 100K was a very big thing because of just within the circle I was, nobody was even hitting 30K. They were just do 20-25K, and that's about it.
Well, it's amazing.
And
it's amazing. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
And that's how that's how I started meeting a lot of new boys, and that's where I started to participate into a lot of merc missions. Then I met a lot of more boys, Nico, the boys from Kia, boys from PHX, boys from KSA, all these Abu, Sada, Derabani, Alasaf, 5BZ. A lot of boys I've just met, and the numbers they produce, I just used to think like when Alasaf did 600, I was just thinking, how the hell this guy did 600? And then I've seen Low doing 700, and then it went to 800, then it went to 1 million now. So it's a journey on its own, man. I've seen a lot of big wars, I've seen a lot of teams, seen a lot of teams coming up, falling down. But yeah, I guess it's a journey for everyone
Well,
on this game.
as far as the journey, like, so before we get too deep, um, sticking with Sky Wars especially, um, what do you think? I guess what do you think the future holds for Sky Warriors at the moment?
See, I have this conversation every day. Me, Dope, Nova, we are almost a couple of hours a day on the Chosen Few server. So big shout out to Dope and the Chosen Few server that has
Huge shout out, yeah, huge shout out to
kept
Dope.
me alive, kept me alive in the game because at some time a couple of months ago I was just feeling like I'm just not enjoying it anymore, and then I switched myself completely to just enjoy the game, streaming and just talking to the boys, screening the game or streaming the game, and I learned a lot, but most importantly, it has kept me alive in the game because I was just thinking is like it was getting kind of boring just to do the same thing again and again and again. And I was not experimenting anything, or we were just not flying in teams, or we were just not doing much around. We were just upgrading jets, flying, coming back home, and then just playing the game. And yeah, so I stopped enjoying the game. To my understanding, the game has changed a lot. Please, the way they are doing things or the way they are trying to get people on, it's a big gap. The game is not giving you the value which people want, but for some people, a lot of people have left technically, but a lot of people have joined. But the game has dropped down from they couldn't get 12,000
What do you think?
subscribers.
What do you think's driving the higher
down to
prices?
7,000.
I'm sorry to cut you off, but I'm just
Yes,
curious.
but see, prices is one thing, but are you getting enough? Are you getting the worth of those prices is another thing. Like I'll give you an example. So an average wait time to get a game these days is anywhere between 45 to 55 seconds, right? So I'll give you an example. If you're running a 2-hour boost or a 2-hour double pointer, right? So normally out of 120 minutes, you will lose about good 20 to 25 minutes because the game couldn't find or there is a waiting time, right?
Well, to be
Now,
clear, and
when you even
that's the highest level. That's the highest tier.
that's on the T, like, but I believe it's the same with everyone else. The waiting time is about 40 to 45 seconds per game.
Oh man. Well, I'll
Because
tell you
we
this.
talk to a lot
I
of
don't wait
people.
that long. About 15 seconds is my average, but I'm in the U.S., so um,
No,
yeah,
I don't
I
know.
want to hear about this though.
I will give you my daily is that I wait about 45 to 55 seconds to get a game.
Oh my
Now,
god.
even if you get a good game, the bots will suicide once or twice, so that you cannot get a maximum out of one game, or the game will lag or it will disconnect. So technically, what they're doing is they are increasing your gaming time by giving you less out of every single game. So if you are trying to maximize your points per game, they are depleting that, and that can be frustrating to a lot of people because not everyone is spending on the game, and some people are just on a specific timing that I want to quickly do 20k for my team, and then just stop the game. But then if the game, the way it's behaving, is not giving you or making you play extra or making you spend a little more than you want to, then yes, people are dropping. And we can see that from the community itself is squeezing down. They have about 7,000 people now, and I don't know how many of them are active.
So you're talking
I
about
guess
buffering.
around 2,000 people. Yes, I'm talking about just the way they are changing a little, tweaking things a little bit here and there to maximize every single cent they can
Squeezing in the turnip.
from a
I
player.
wonder why.
I don't know. Let's see, man. I guess, and like I joke to Dope every single day is that Dope T8 is coming, T8's coming, and why I do it because we both have stopped upgrading the jet, and we were like, nah, man, I'm not gonna do it anymore. Let's just wait for T8. And every time there is a deal coming out, then Dope will joke, so Nitro, what do you think? And I'm like, yeah, man, T8 is coming. So T8 is coming, but I know if they drop T8, a lot of people will make decisions again because they're gonna nerf T7s. People have spent a lot of money to upgrade their jets to the level they are, and God knows how expensive T8 is gonna be, or how expensive the upgrades on T8 is gonna be. Like an average upgrade after level 30 on T7 is about 30 million consequence.
Well, I see that. Well, I don't know. I mean, so even right now, so Kegs flies more than I do. I'm more curious to hear you guys talk about this subject. To be completely honest.
Well, and I'll say my average wait time, if I had to take a guess, is between 20 and 35 seconds.
Okay. So
There
that's
are
still
times where there are times where I'll have a whole tank where as soon as I hit battle, I jump right into a match, and it'll do that for a whole tank. And then let's say I kick off a booster or something like that. Then I'm usually waiting 10 to 15 seconds. Every now and again, it's a minute. But I've noticed since now that you can upgrade your inventory with coins instead of diamonds, it doesn't seem like we're getting as much out of the chests since that update that we were prior to that. I've noticed that. I haven't collected chests in like 2 months.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying is they are doing a little changes here and there in the game to maximize whatever they want to do it, but it's technically making you play more to get the same amount of points, and that does affect a lot of people's gaming because a lot of people are just on a specific time on it. Like some people might be thinking
it used to be probably back when I was about in the 2-month range in this game. You could be a no pay player and still do just as good as a pay player. You know, not consistently all the time, but you know you could do it if you were smart. Now, if you don't pay, you're pretty much fucked. Realistically speaking, you know what I mean?
Yes and no. Yes, there are some levels of. See, it all comes down to is what your global ambitions are and where do you want to go to. Like when I started the game, all I wanted to do was just to learn the game and play and then just see where I can get there. And then I used to think, man, I'm going to make top 100 and I think that will be it. But to just get to top 100, I have to fly more. I have to upgrade my jets. And then I thought, all right, let me see if I can be number one in Australia. So then the difference between me and Didi was too much. And I used to think, all right, let's just go with the flow. Let's go with the flow. And then 2 weeks ago, I think so, Didi is not playing at the moment, and that can be the reason I passed Didi. Now I'm number one in Australia. But before that, I thought, all right, let me see if I can be number one in India. So it all comes down to is that what do you want to achieve? And then I was talking to Dope the other day. I said, yeah, Dope, I think so. I'll make top 10 and then maybe I slow down. And he said, no, you cannot stop at top 10. Maybe then you think about coming to top 5. So I'm just thinking, all right, then you're again raising the bar where you want to stop. But if you just want to play an average game just to do 20K, I have seen and I have been in a lot of teams that don't spend a single dollar and they achieve. I don't have to go far. At WB, I have about 60% of the people who don't even spend a single dollar on the game, and they compete at the highest level with us. We being in top 10 a lot of times, and we drop after top 10. And the biggest reason of that is because we have about 50 or 60% team that is non-spender, and I just don't want to put them under that pressure to compete in top 10 because it's heavy wars around that, and for them to just either work and keep working and playing. It's a grind, or just to drop down and let them enjoy the game, because in the end, if you're not enjoying the game, then it becomes a second job very quickly.
Well,
right. When I was rolling for 8 months with USN, and we were starting to get really, really competitive up in that top 5, there was a time I didn't even realize that someone else pointed out to me, and I don't remember who the hell it was right now, but I cracked top 100 in the US. And I wasn't trying to. I was just playing. And then when I rolled over into my own squad and then into one, and I was playing heavy there, I was averaging probably 40, 50, 60,000 for a while with them. I was getting close to that top 100 in the U.S. again, you know. And I'm like, is this what I want? You know, do I want to shoot for the top of the leaderboard? Not really. You know, I'm not an overly competitive person like that when it comes to gaming.
No, no, no. You wanted to be my co-host, and the Cool-Kegs podcast exists. Now, now let me say this. Let me ask you this. So you mentioned India and Australia. Can you elaborate a little bit why?
What do you mean? Like
Well.
in
So
what?
as far as a person, who are you in real life?
Yeah, sure.
I think what he was trying to get at there is why did you pick those two countries to to run the leaderboards?
And that's why you're here.
Okay. So
I got years of practice translating my mom's gibberish into something that makes sense for my dad. Don't worry, we got this covered, buddy.
No, it's all good. My glass of wine is full because I'm always drunk. Trust me. Ask around.
that's all
Ask
good, man.
around. You know. I'm always drunk.
No, that's all good, man. So I'll tell you a little bit about my history. So I was born in India, and I immigrated to Australia in 2003 to complete my masters. So that is why when I picked up, I was just thinking is all right. I will play. I started with an Australian flag, and then because I went and started playing in the Indian in our team, which was basically about a lot of boys from India. So I started to play under that flag. I'm like, all right, I'll change the flag to that. And ever since that, I think so. It was always between is like I'll change flags between India and Australia, and just to set my targets. I started out. Let's do if I can be number one in India first, and then let's see if I can be number one in Australia first, again or second, and that's how I picked up those two flags. But other than that, I'm not specific on doing any flags or not. But as I said before, it's like you want to put a certain target to you is what you want to achieve in the game. And all I wanted to achieve in the game was to be in top 100 and see if I can be number one in either of one of those countries. And that's all. That was all it is.
Well, congratulations, by the way, on your masters.
Okay, man.
Um,
Thanks for that, man.
well, no, for real. That's a lifetime of a significant part anyway of a lifetime. And are you enjoying the fruits of your labor? I would assume you
Oh,
are.
yes. Oh, yes. So I came in 2003. I did my master's in business, and then I started to work in supply chain. So I did about 10 or 12 years in supply chain. And when I left supply chain to do what I'm doing now, which I will come down to, is that I was at one time managing seven warehouses, national and international supply chain, and about 120 people. From there, when I started to manage the finances of a big company like that, I started to develop more interest in finance. And that's where I started to start a small business in finance. And I went on and I completed my second master's in finance to just get more understanding of how the numbers in the world works and how I can be more better at what I do day to day. Because when you are like in my business in finance, when I'm working on someone's file, I'm technically working on their lifetime savings. So you got to be very careful like what you do and how you guide them to generate or invest or make wealth. So that's how I started my own business back in 2015, and it's been 8 years now. And now I can finally say I can work from home. I have about a team of 5 people that work for me, and yeah, I just stay at home 3 days a week, work 2 days from my office, or vice versa. How my days.
Yeah. Well, it fascinates me because you have a life outside of this game, which is gotta be, I don't know, just as taxing. I don't know. How do you split the two? Like, how do you manage the time versus everything else? I mean, obviously money isn't an issue, but
Yep. No. So the thing is, my work is not 9 to 5, or my work is not where I have to be in front of my computer all day. My day can be like today. I'm just looking through my emails. I've caught up with my emails when I woke up because I am an early starter. I get up about 4 or 5 in the morning. I go to my gym or I do my boot camps, and I will just start my day on. And I'll not mostly catch up in the next 3 or 4 hours until unless I have meetings to do, and then I have time in my hands to play around before the family's back from school and wife's back from work. So I do have time during that time. I'm being lucky enough that my son and my wife kind of sometimes play the game, so we make it as an activity. So
Yeah.
we will share it on the big screen, and we all will just fly and have a gig of just dying or just flying together. So that makes a little bit time for me, but just just the day is not planned that I have to work certain hours. Like maybe I'm just talking to you now and I'm caught up with my work. Maybe the next hour I've received 6 phone calls and I'm all of a sudden busy. So the day is not designed that I have to go and do that much. It all depends on how much work's coming in.
So it's almost like you can adult and be a top player at the same time. Unlike some of the
Yes.
some of the new players, it seems like that's not what's going on. I'm just saying. I mean, but I don't fly and I don't know anything. I'm
Well,
just saying.
I feel like it's different, and this I might catch a little flack for this, but I'm going to say it anyway.
Do it.
I feel like don't encourage him anyway.
Encourage him. Encourage him.
Anyway. But I honestly feel like the way the rest of the world is set up compared to how the U.S. is set up with our financial systems and our work schedules and all of that other stuff makes it a lot easier for people in other parts of the world to be higher tier players without giving up as much I guess free time or home time or family time. You know what I mean? I feel like it's the way things run in other places are make that a little easier.
Yes and no. I guess it all kind of depends on what kind of a work you are on. So, for example, if I'm working in an office or for example, if I'm working in a bank or I'm a teller, now I cannot play the game there because 8 hours I'm sitting in front of computer or I'm sitting in front of customers working, so you don't have that time. But then if you are working for yourself or you're working in a different industry where your work is to supervise people, I'm pretty sure there's a lot of boys I know or I've seen in the game that are supervisor or managers. All they have to do is the first 2 or 3 hours of the day, they have to go and tell people do this, do this, do this, plan out the day, and then they have time on hands to play around. A lot of people are retired. A lot of people are like depending on what age you are on. Like I've noticed a lot of people are above 40 in this game who play and they manage their day. The kids are grown up. There is no much to do, and this is a perfect outlet for them to just express themselves or enjoy it. Because remember when there was COVID, there was 2 or 3 years no one was able to do anything or go out. Everyone just jumped on online gaming to do it.
Well, I'm kind of happy that in a game designed to be about war, I hope anyway, the podcast is kind of projecting a little bit more understanding between people. But
Yeah.
and then again, I mean, there's also there's a group out there that don't like it because it takes too long and whatever to listen to, and those aren't our listeners, but at the same time they're listening. Um, and I hope it's just not because of their economic situation or something like that. But it bugs me. Like I don't understand what.
Well, that's the greatest thing is in something where we're supposed to do battle with each other and all this other crazy shit. We could still find a common ground to just have a conversation and have a good laugh, and
some people can be
that's
so.
the greatest part about this. But that's the wonderful thing about gaming. This is a game. Yeah, sure, it's a game about battles and wars and all this other shit, but it's a game. It's not like
It's less Call of Duty forums, Xbox forums. You're in the lobby, and not quite playing. Roblox. I don't know. Like,
well,
we're lucky.
It's not like my team versus your team, and the loser dies. This isn't like real world fucking.
For some,
battle.
Yeah, maybe for some. I think motivations are down to the person.
It all comes down to, as I said before, what do you want out of the game? Now, this game is not about, and a lot of people get it wrong. This game is not about your wins and losses, I guess. When you start to keep that contact out of your gaming, that if you like, you don't want to lose all the games, but if you have that mindset, I don't want to lose any game as well, I want to win all of them. Now that is where things starts to get you. But if you can somehow come to this mindset that I'm just going to enjoy, have fun, because there's always going to be better pilots out there, losing is okay. Because you trying to win every game will make you rage quit the game. You trying to win every game will make the game expensive for you, because either you will invest a lot in the jet or to upgrade it to the max level, or you will spend a lot of resources every day to just get there with the big boys and compete to make a name for yourself. All these things add expense to your gaming. So if you can keep that separate, and if you just want to do it, I just want to enjoy for the game and enjoy every day, wins or losses don't matter, then it's okay. But once you start to be competitive and you want to win everything, then you're respawning every time, you're using expensive resources like autos, trackers. Now those things are 2.5, like 2.4 diamonds a piece, and 50% of the time they don't even work.
Yeah.
So that means if you bought 10 for about 24 diamonds, only 5 will work properly, or 6 will work properly. So you will lose 4 or 5 all the time.
Well,
So it's all about
go ahead.
it's all about the way the game is getting into your mind for you to become more competitive. But if you just enjoy, and that is what I have done in the last 3 to 4 months, is that I have slowed down, and now I just stream, win or do lose doesn't matter. So we just fly and have fun, and we sometimes lose the game is we are kind of flying and competing against someone, and then we are machine gunning each other for fun.
Yeah.
We don't care if you win or lose, you know. So in the end, it all comes down to is what are you trying to get from the game? Because we have done everything, man. We have competed in the big wars. We have competed with the top squads. We have achieved the global rankings. What we want to do is now all is left now is to keep enjoying it and don't lose the interest or make it to a level that it is you're just thinking is like, what the hell I'm doing here and spending that kind of money on it.
Yeah. Well, again, I think that's why I'm lucky. I hope Kegs feels the same way. But just being able to stay in the community and involved. This was an accident, and Kegs and I have kind of told the story over and over. You can listen through the episodes if you have the non-ADHD problems. But long and short, like, I enjoy the people actually.
That's right.
Yeah, the conversations I was having behind the scenes are basically the same thing that we're recording for the people that, I don't know, I guess have nothing to hide, or it's not even that. It's just the people that want to come on. And I don't blame people if they don't want to. It's not like that. But these conversations that I was having before seem to be the same conversations that I've had prior to someone coming on. So there's a lot of people out there that I think that could benefit from a little bit of a break and understand that you don't have to be the top player to still be loved or admired by somebody. I mean, it sucks,
and that
dude.
is why you have to pick up the right team, and that is why you have to pick up the right team. A leadership goes a long way. And that is one reason why I love working for Law. That's loyalty above loyal, man. They are amazing people out there, man. I have met so many good people, man. And I love the objective of them is to just enjoy it. They do work. They don't compete in their own squad. Every now and then they will, but Philip, I've got Chainsaw, Chips, Spook, I met the Max guy there, man. There's so many good people, down to earth guys there, that we just go every day, every one ward or the second ward, whenever I have time, I will go and do a mock mission with them. You just report where you're going and then just play and come back, because they are not in this global thing of making a big name of the squad or something. All those guys do is just enjoy the game and just have fun. And I've seen it. I just love to just work under the LA tag, and I'm kind of thankful to them to give me that opportunity. That being a commander with WV2, they have still let me work under their name, and that's what I love about the game and the people there. And then I go and work with big teams, depending on what sort of a war is. I'm being with champions about 6 or 7 or 8 wars now to just have a feel of how the big wars goes. And I know what a big war takes out of you week on week, and it's not healthy to do all those wars every now and then as well, because if you're flying for 25 or 30 hours in 2 days, then you're absolutely ruining yourself, you know?
Well, yeah. I mean, that's the thing. Like, you got to manage not only your time but your mental health. You got to manage really who you are as a person. I think it really pushes you to that. And luckily, I think right now, I mean, I'm happy. I'm enjoying doing what I'm doing, and the list keeps to grow. I mean, it seems it's growing daily. Kegs can attest to this. Like, we've talked about, I don't know, cycling back for I don't know, a month and a half, 2 months, and turns out we just can't even get through the list that are first timers, and it's crazy. It's crazy. I can say when this very began, I never thought about this. I don't think Cakes and I thought about this, and this is turning into something that's a little bit more larger, I think, than just the game. Hopefully, because I'm starting to meet people from all around the world, not just I guess avatars. So I don't know. It's been a pleasure to meet you. I would have never have probably had a chance if I didn't decide to almost leave the game. Like that's why I started doing this.
Yes,
I
and more
love the
and more
community.
people are leaving the game every day. You just see people just typing on their squad
Well, and I
chat that,
also
oh,
noticed the
I'm
new
taking
people.
right.
Yeah, have you noticed the new people? I know we spoke about that a little bit. The new people are coming on, and the dynamic that brings.
Yes, so the new people on. See, the problem is a lot of new players are coming up, and they're damn good people and they're damn good players. But my understanding is they're going into bigger teams, and just to try to make a name in a bigger team is crazy sometimes, because those guys been playing it for so long and they have made a name for themselves. You're trying into squeeze, and you're just going out of your way to just to get even noticed, or just to get some kind of a appreciation within the group is very hard. Like my one thing to all the newcomers will be is don't go in bigger squads. Enjoy the game first. Join a gold league or a platinum league. Don't try to go into diamond league squads too straight away, because a diamond league squad straight away comes with a attack 20k minimum. And I've seen a lot of teams out there that they have like good 25, 30 people or 35 odd people, and they are trying to compete for a million, and they're trying to look for mercs for every war. To me, is that if your current team is not capable of making a million, and for every war you need 10 or 50 people to help you get a million, drop down to plats,
Yeah.
because you cannot keep doing it all the time, because it you're just getting overdrawn on help. So this game is all about uh, people coming in, people going. You go and work for someone else, and then sometimes you kind of ask people to come back and work for you, and then it's all about deposits and withdrawals, right?
Well, yeah, and you've mentioned to this. You mentioned this to me privately. Like you've been a moderator before other places. Let's put it that way. And I think this is kind of something important for mobile gaming, any gaming platform. Mental health is a big thing. Like you got to be able to balance what you're doing here. Like if you're encompassing self identity into a game, you really need to reevaluate.
Right. You cannot make it your daily life. It's simple, man. And if you're spending 6, 7, 8 hours a day just to make a name for yourself, do something better.
Well, and let
Like,
me tell you this. So there's going to be people out there that's going to attack me right now for saying that. Well, here's the issue. The issue is I'm not doing it for a game, and I'm not being raped for money anymore. I mean, it looks like we're making money. We're not. But let me say why I'm doing this personally. I don't know about why Kegs is, but I'll let him after I speak. I'll let him say his piece. But the personal reason why I enjoy doing this is because it gives me a different perspective on the world, and my place in it. Um, I think that we could all value from the same thing. And, whether this stays in Sky Warriors and, we do 100, 200, 300 episodes on YouTube and whatever, 500 total, or, it becomes something more. But that's personally how I feel. I love talking to people with different perspectives, whether it's anything. I learn every time I have a podcast. I really do. Even though I'm shit-faced drunk right now. Obviously, right? That's a bad joke, but yeah. No, yeah. Sorry, that
Now
was
we
me.
laugh for that.
That was me being a little petty there. But yeah, it bugs me. It bugs me to hear that shit. But
The thing is, the game has changed a lot as well. Like you go back 1 year, if you want to just go back 1 year, there was a kind of, first of all, the the things, or I would say, playing the game was not that crazy that is it is now. It was very competitive back in the days because there was not a lot of extra, like there was not exactly extra missiles, or there were not boosters, or there were not doublets, or doing anything with, for example, you have access to more and the other person doesn't has access to more, so he's already at a disadvantage with you because you can spend more money, but maybe that person cannot spend money. But back in the days, if you look at, I'll take an example because when I started the game, I used to look at Pro, right? So all these boys, Woken, Coke, you have Dope, you got Marrow, Crash, Bread. These guys used to hit big numbers with or without boosters, right? But what these guys achieved was a mutual respect. And that is very important to have a mutual respect within the community, just not in your squad. Now, you can be a number one squad. To become a number one squad, you need to have a competitiveness, you need to have arrogance, and you need to have that ego, right? To be there. But the moment you are there, you need to switch to the second gear, which is being humble and give respect to people because people look at how you behave on global chats or how you deal on Discord. So what my understanding is, and I was very new when I was just coming along, and I've never met Woken, I've never met Coke, I never met even Dope or Marrow. I only met them 6 or 8 months down the track when I started to work for Bro through when I met Saga, Poker, or Nova. But what these guys had within the community was a respect. And that is missing these days. And why it is missing these days is because there is a lot of the competitiveness is to a level that there are no rules anymore. There is no respect. Like I've noticed people playing, I don't want to put it outside, but I will just say is the gaming is not as clean as it can be. And people have different mindset to how they can ruin someone's game or how the other person cannot make a most out of the game. For example, there's a lot of talks these days is people are suiciding so that the other person not gets the point. Now, to me, that is, if I'm an old schooler, for me, that is an act of, you're a fucking coward. Fight. But for other person, that's a tactical thing, not to give you more points. But does it matter? Because if I'm spending money on this game, then I have endless diamonds and endless time. I will go play another game and I'll get my points. But where is the respect?
well, I mean,
And then people come, and they say, "Oh, people don't respect me." But your acts earns you respect. The way you handle people and you talk to people earns you respect. The day you conduct yourself earns you respect. And you want respect, you got to give respect first. You give respect 10 times, maybe one time the person will give it back to you.
well, yeah. I mean, like, I guess as far as the game's concerned, as far as Sky Warriors, like, yeah, it's gonna be a time capsule, one way or the other. I think that's a good thing. It's an extra level of, I guess, accountability. Um, like I said, Kegs and I started this on a whim, and are you still there, Kegs?
Oh yeah, no, I'm listening.
No.
I'm listening.
No, I'm just curious what you think, about any of this, actually. I mean, as far as the new players coming in, doing dirty shit and respect, and the idea that should respect matter in a mobile gaming thing. Like, I don't know.
Well, and that's you got that problem everywhere in life right now. There's nothing you can really do about it. That's the generation of the keyboard warrior. They're just gonna show up and say whatever the fuck they want because there's no consequences. And that's. I mean, I guess we could segue that into a conversation that we're going to have farther on down the line. But I mean, my personal opinion, and I'm sure I'll catch hate for this too. I firmly believe, at least amongst men, and yes, I'm going to pick on the men for a minute, not because I think women are better at holding conversations than us.
How dare you?
When two men sit down and have a conversation about whatever, you can pick it to pull a topic out of your ass. There is a certain thread of underlying violence that keeps it civil, which is just the way it's been since the dawn of fucking apes.
Well, and we are going to talk about this.
And
violence has solved everything.
I know, but
in the world, every conflict. I'm
not saying violence is always the answer or anything like that. I'm not trying to preach that kind of a mindset either. But there are times where it is acceptable and necessary. What we're lacking, though, in this digital era is the consequence of getting smacked in the mouth for being a dickhead. I don't know if I know. Cool, you're old. You're a little older than I am. Nitro, haven't asked you your age, and I don't know if you want to disclose it. And you don't have to. I'm in my late 20s. I'm in my late 20s. Yeah, I'm in my late 20s. I'll be 30 here shortly. Okay. I can remember when I was growing up that if you were a mouthy little shit, whether it was to one of your peers or to a fucking adult or whatever, you got someone reached out and gave you a smack across the mouth.
Well, see, here's the thing. I'm old enough to realize that really what this podcast is going to do is it's going to scare away the people that are afraid of what they say from day to day, and it's going to bring on the people that believe what they say day to day. As far as the game goes.
It's not even a matter of believing. It's just a matter of understanding how the fact of life.
Well, the fact of life is
like if I'm in a park and I got my kids out playing on the play shit. And me and my wife are having a conversation, and say one of her friends shows up. Okay, the women are talking a little bit now, but I'm still going to be there and participating some. But I'm going to let them have their conversation because they talk about shit that I really don't talk about. Whatever. If they ask me to, I'll still interject with my opinions and thoughts and views and observations and whatnot, and that's fine because we're all adults and we can have differing shit. Now, if there's some punk kids over to the side that are yelling and cussing and fucking being your typical degenerates, in a public setting like that, or whatever, or some kind of inappropriate debauchery or whatever, I'm going to walk over there and I'm going to say something. Now, yes, that's public property, and they're just as much able to use it as me and my family. But I'm still going to walk over there and say something because I have respect, morals, and principles. But that's the difference. That's the difference. If they come on to the Gen chat or English chat or whatever, whichever chat you're fucking on, and they start spouting off some bullshit like that, you can't just get up and walk over there and smack someone in the mouth. Now you might go to jail for it, but you're standing up for what's right. You see what I'm getting at? So
yes, but you can see that the people but the thing is, a lot of people don't understand is when you do online gaming, you're all attached to an avatar or a call sign. I think Sabrina was talking to you about this, right? So a lot of people think, I'm going to go online and I'm going to be whatever I can because nobody knows who I am. So you can be a nobody or you can play 2 different characters for 1 week, 2 week, 3 week, or 4 weeks. But eventually, it's going to start reflecting who you are in real life on your gaming life. And a lot of people don't understand is that you can say that, it's all like game, who knows me or who doesn't knows me. But your actions, and that's why they say action speaks louder than words, is that your actions over there tells that exactly what kind of a mindset or a person you are in real life. And that can be easily been seen. All you got to do is like just sit or just watch sometimes a global chat or an English chat going off, and you just you just like I'm blown away at times. It's like serious? Is this is what people are going to? And like I don't have to do anything in this game. Like I'm being online gaming for about 12 years now, and I started back in 2010. And I was playing a game. I don't know if you guys know. It was a Facebook game called Crime Inc. from UK Games. So I played that game for 4 years, and after 2 years, I was moderating the Australia and the Asian network because of the way I was playing. So I was moderating those chats. And over there, the moderators over here don't have like in-game powers. We used to even have in-game powers to delete a certain comment or to ban a certain individual or give him a time out. And just just my experience from that and just learning from that and just different mindsets of people is what teaches you in a broader view of the way I think is not the whole world thinks that way. And sometimes people are not able to put their right mind into the right phrases, and they can be taken wrong, but they are technically not wrong. But then some person comes specifically, they will make a mini, and you can easily see that mini was made 2 or 3 hours ago, and they are abusing people on a certain segment of society. And then you just think, is man, are you that desperate to put a word or something out there which you cannot do it from your main, or you are too scared? You know?
Well,
Like
you
if
know
you
what my
wanna,
favorite thing to do is. I'd love to go on to game chat. I'll be in there, promoting the YouTube channel or something, and you'll see one of those minis, and they'll start talking shit, and
yeah,
all of a sudden people are like, "Cool, hey, what are you doing? Cool, hey, cool," and I'm like,
that's
"No,
right.
I was just too busy dicking with this kid," like, and they shut up real quick, and it's like, it's nice to see that at least the community's trying. But here's the
That's
thing,
right. That's right.
like here's the thing. I don't hide behind an avatar. Cakes doesn't either. Everybody that's involved with the podcast has shared at least their picture. Who they are, their opinions more than once, and that's the thing. It takes a lot of fucking courage to do that. It really does. But the thing is, it takes just as much courage to come on and do this. Like, I'm not going to judge you like you think I'm going to judge you. Like, you got to, like, Nitro knows this, but there's a lot of people out there that are probably asking, oh, do I only interview these people or what they think because of religion or politics? No, everybody's welcome. Like, and Cakes and I have talked about this. Like, as long as we can keep it civil and have a discussion, that's cool. We just don't want like a knockdown drag on fight, and if that ever happens, it'll never air. That's why we do this pre-recorded. We might do it live at some point, but at the same time, like, I can shut it off.
See, the
So,
thing is, I think so. We had this discussion as well. Going live is definitely good, but I believe the community needs to open for that. And the way people behave. Like, I'll give you an example. I've been playing for about 15 or 16 months, and every day when I was playing, and I will go onto the English chat and I will share a code, or I will fly with anybody. I don't care if it's a level 1 pilot or level 2 pilot, and I was a level 6 pilot or a level 7 tier 7 pilot. For me is just to go and play and enjoy it. Maybe that kid learned something or I learned something from him, right? But what I have started lately is I'm not purposely or going into those chats because there are so many elements that are just looking for one of the boys to come on, and they want to start a conversation, right? Now, that now puts people off on coming, for example, online or sharing the personal space, or maybe even coming live, because there are elements out there, and I'm being a victim of that myself back in the days, where somehow people got access to my social media, and for no reason my wife was getting threat calls, and I was just thinking, is all I'm doing is playing an online game.
wow.
And even though because all it was competitive, that we were just beating a certain team day by day, and then all he went on is just somehow find, because I was naive back in the days, that I would have shared my name or my Facebook or whatever it is, because when you are in squad, you become friendly with people, right? And but somehow, like, that person got access to it, write so many shitty comments to in my profile to the people I know, abuse my wife, and then I deleted everything from social. So the only way I play this game now is I'm not social. I'm not on socials at all. And that is the reason I'm not on socials, is because I want to go and keep playing these games, because that's part of my hobby. And I do share this with my son. My son plays on my app sometimes. My wife sometimes plays on my, like we are sitting together, or we will share it on the screen, as I told you before, and we will just laugh, and each of us will have a turn. And but there are people out there who are just so cut that they want to take any advantage, or use something against you, just to ruin your game, or just to give you that sabotage, that you want to just delete a specific game. And I've done it before in the past. When it had happened to me, is my wife got threat calls, and all she said to me is that what I have done wrong, and all I had to do was just go on and delete the game. But that just opens you up to the dark world. It's a dark side of the game. Online gaming is, because people can go to any lengths just to hurt you or cause some sort of a problems in your real life. So that for them that is fun, but it's not fun.
Yeah.
Keep it civil. You want to play competitively, play on the game. And that is why I said before that don't try to win every single game. It's okay to lose, and even it's okay to lose in a war, because it just makes you more humble. It just tells you that where your team was vulnerable, where you need to improve, where you need to improve or learn from them, because it's everyone out there is competitive and they want to win. But once you keep this out of the window, that I have to win every game, your gaming changes. And honestly, the game is not like, if I look at someone's stat these days, I know not all the stats are winning stats, because a lot of people these days are, what they're doing is they're going into a game, and when they see there are tough opponents, or there are more than one opponents, they leave the game.
Yeah.
So that doesn't register as a kill or as a defeat. So now when I look at people's stats globally, I'm just thinking it's like how many games he has played. So there is the respect is not earned by the bigger players or any player these days, is because you will remember, oh, he always runs away, or he's going to do this, or he's going to do that. But it's not fair on some people who have really worked hard, or played the good and made good stats for themselves, because they are very competitive. But the overview of it is that the way that people are taking advantage of the bug or whatever the game has done is to just pad their stats. I call them stat padding, is to get easy games all the time. And definitely you will win all the games when you're flying only against the bots, right?
Oh yeah.
But is it why you have spend that kind of money to play the game, to play against a bot, or you want to compete against a player? That's the difference these days. That what you want to do, get out of the game. That are you gonna come online and play 10 games with a bot, or you wanna play 10 games with, for example, Breeze, or for example, Kegs, or maybe someone else? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I have the most fun around tier 4, tier 5 myself, but
That's right.
yeah.
I have
And
more
platinum
fun
leagues.
now.
Yeah.
I have more fun now is to just make sure I know, like Dope, Nova, Poker, and Miko. Miko is busy. There's Poker is away. We come online onto Choose and Fill server every day, and we stream, we laugh, and we just have fun about it. But if we get bot games, we fire at each other just for fun, because we know that 3 people against bots or 1 people against bots, we will win. But we just machine gun each other to have fun.
Well, brother man,
But
let me ask you this. Let me ask you
Yeah.
this. We're right around 57 minutes, so let me ask you this: is there something that you would like to shout out or talk about a little bit more before we move on out?
Nothing specifically, man. All I will tell people is just be reasonable, play for fun, don't become too competitive, and just be civil. Respect people, you will get respect back.
Well, I want to thank you, by the way. A big thank you.
No,
You've supported
thank you
us
for being
from the
here.
very beginning, because we had a private conversation, and you were kind of like asking me, kind of what it was about, and it was just for someone to come on and talk about whatever they wanted to, and I was doing my best not to interrupt, but yeah, we're right at 58 something. Kegs, do you have anything?
No.
I just want to give another shout out to Dope and the Chosen Few. I hop in that server quite often and cut it up with the boys on the public vocal voice channels and whatnot. It's just a great place to hang out and and have fun, and that's what we're all at this game for, is just to have fun, and if we can all band together a bit and grow the Chosen Few server some more, we can start doing tournaments again. And I
Yes.
personally very much enjoyed the tournaments I participated in. It was a great time. It was an awesome thing that Dope had. His brainchild was amazing. How's that? I had a lot of fun with it, and I feel like that's something we should all get behind.
I apologize, by the way. In Kegs, you brought it up. I'm sorry, Dope. So I didn't mean to disappear. I have a different schedule. Kegs and I are balancing it, but yeah, it wasn't intentional. It's getting harder and harder to balance
No,
work
no,
and
that's
this
fine.
thing.
And it's fine. And that is why I say, like, choosing few server is why I'm still playing the game. And you meet a lot of people. Like, how many people I've met? I met Nova, Dope, Loki, Data, I think so, Max from La. There's a lot of players that come online and just talk and play, and you meet a lot of people. Like, I'm meeting Poker in Malaysia end of the month. I'm flying there for some work, and he's already there from US down in Malaysia for his family, and I'm catching up with him. So I met him through online gaming, but I'm excited to just meet up and catch up with him and have a beer. So I will say is, man, just don't be shy and just come to that server. You will see us talking, streaming. Just just come say hello and have a little bit gig around it, man. And that's all. If that's all the gaming is about, just people.
Yeah, and if you're streaming and you're flying like shit that day, guess what? Have a laugh about it and keep flying like
That's
shit.
exactly right.
Because I streamed, I streamed our whole fucking tournament that we were in, and it was fucking. I was not doing good. And who cares? It was fun. It was great. Oh my god, it was hilarious.
That's
Well,
right.
boys,
It is fun, and it's not about winning and the big wall. Just try to find different fun out of the game and the jet. That's all.
well, I'll tell you what, guys. Like, seriously, Nitro, please come back, and you'll be back, 100%. But we're trying to get through the list of first timers, but honestly, it keeps growing, and we might have to do one every other week, or we'll have to talk about that, Cakes. But honestly, thank you so much, Nitro, for more
Thank you
than
so much, guys, for
just
having
being on
me.
tonight. So I just want you to know that. But I guess with that being said,
He's cool,
and he's Cakes.
and we're the fuck out.